Hello. Being relatively quiet today because it is earlier in the morning and my mother is still asleep before she heads off to work. Why am I doing this so early in the morning? Well, as always, I am filming this on Thursday so I can get it filmed and edited so I can upload it before work on Friday. But today I have to film and edit this Thursday morning before work so I can upload it before work Friday. Yes, normally I had Thursdays off, but this week, and probably all the weeks here on out, was different. This week mainly because I had a dentist appointment yesterday, so I took the entire day off just to deal with the fact that I was pretty sure it was going to be some heavier work. And it is, because there's now a part 2 to my dentist appointment, which is the end of the root canal I'm currently in the middle of. Yay. Yeah. So I had been having pain in my face on this side, and it wasn't going away, so it wasn't like I had just vaguely hurt myself at one point and the problem fixed itself. So off to the dentist I went. We've been sticking with our family dentists and doctors, which is in a different city from us, but relatively close by, so trip out there. And thank goodness I love this dentist. I hate going to dentists and doctors. Like, I hate when things go wrong with my body. I'm a really nervous person. My anxiety just shoots up. And with a dentist, it's worse because I have a really bad gag reflex. So, he was really good. And basically I was like, I have a pain. And he was like, what type of pain? And I told him the type of pain. And he goes, okay, let's try and find the specific tooth causing the pain. And how they do this is they put some cold stuff on a Q-tip, and they basically go down the teeth, and they're just like, are you feeling it? Feeling it? You feeling it? You feeling it? Yeah, you feeling it? Okay. And then they check if it's all sides, or if it's just the one side. It's just the one side, but we pinpointed it, which was really good, because I haven't been able to pinpoint it. It's felt more like a general pain. I assumed it was coming from one specific tooth, but from here I couldn't tell. So he looks in his mouth and he goes, that's weird. None of your teeth are looking bad, but your gums are looking unhappy. They're looking irritated. It's not good. And I was like, yeah, it's probably not good. So they did an x-ray and they found out I had a cavity, a really bad cavity, right at the gum line, right going into the nerve, which is why I was having so much pain. So in yesterday's appointment, we did all of that. And then he sat down and basically drilled out all of the stuff. So the cavity, all the soft stuff, and he took out the nerve. Put a temporary cap on, and coming September 17th, I have to go back so they can fill it up properly. Which, altogether, between this appointment, the antibiotics I am now on to make sure it doesn't get infected, because he said it looked like it was growing towards an infection with how my gums were responding. And the next appointment, with all of the filling necessary, it cost me about $1,000. Yeah. Legitimately. Like, next appointment, you're looking at $700, $800, plus this appointment and the antibiotics, I'm already at $200. Yep. But the other tooth I've had dealt with cost us over that amount of money because they had to put me out to pull it fully because it was so far back in my mouth, and I'm an extremely anxious person, and that went even worse. So I'm actually very proud of how I dealt with the appointment, because there were certainly some points that were iffy, but my dentist, this is why I love him, he was very attentive to that. Like, we talked ahead of time. I said, like, I'm trying to get better, but I'm still really jumpy. It's been a hard week. I'm not going to talk about what happened Monday. Wait, no. I'll talk about what happened Monday night. Monday night was fantastic. But Tuesday night, there was an issue on one of my tours. So, Rach, you know about that. That doesn't need to be here. But needless to say, going from that into the dentist, it was just really nice because he'd stop and check with me. He was making sure I wasn't feeling any pain and figured out what the discomfort was, which is apparently your own teeth taste really badly. So we actually figured out a way around it. Hopefully the next appointment goes as relatively smoothly as this one went. Okay, I think my mother's up now. Give me a second. But I mentioned Monday night. So, yeah. Turns out the company I'm with really tries to have a number of company get-togethers throughout the year. And Monday nights was by far the best because they've rented out a karaoke club for just the private event of all of us showing up and singing karaoke. It was awesome. And this is coming from a person who, due to some email issues, didn't find out about it until like the weekend before. So I found out like Saturday and was able to communicate it to the other tour guides. And I wasn't really sure I was going to go. I can't sing really well, but it didn't matter. So I was thinking to myself, maybe I'll go for like half an hour so I could say I was there. No, girls stayed most of the night. I left slightly before the end because they had limited the time, right? Renting the club out. Left slightly before the end so I could hop into a taxi before everybody started trying to call taxis. So I was sort of on this first general wave out. And I say general wave because, like, there were definitely probably people that could have left quietly that I didn't notice. But there were a couple people that left about the same time I did. Sang 2 songs. Sang one with the other walking tour guide that came with us. And we were the first ones. There weren't a lot of people there because we had showed up, like, right when it started. Because I got off a shift. Like, a full day shift. And then went into this karaoke event. Changed in the bathroom because I was like, I'm not wearing my work clothes for this. Changed in the bathroom. And so we started the karaoke. We sang some nights, and then further into the evening, I sang House of the Rising Sun, which was really cool. I really enjoyed it. Turns out I can remember the lyrics to that song without a lot of prompting. So, like, I'm really proud. It was probably painful for a bunch of people to listen to, but I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I feel like such an adult this week. Going to the dentist. Drove myself home from the dentist for the most part. I mean, it took my time, and I wasn't woozy. The only thing that we did for it was freezing, so like my face felt a little bleh, but nothing that affected my driving, which was funny because I was like, oh, it's a little windy. That's interesting because you do have to take that into account, especially since our car is a little smaller, but a little lighter. Because bigger vehicles have the weight, but they've also got more space for the air to hit them. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Found out tonight over the news that literally, like, all the area around us, including the area, like, the town we had been in, about an hour after we left, got hit with this massive storm where they were speculating whether or not tornadoes touched down. So, literally, the wind I felt was, like, all we got of this massive storm, and I was just like, oh, well, that's rather lucky. Went through some more drive-thrus. Handled myself really well. I'm getting better. Still haven't figured out parking backing up, but I can pull into a parking space, especially if there are actually other cars nearby, because the problem I've been having with parking is knowing where the spaces are. because you can't see the lines when you get up to them, right? So with other cars, it's actually not a problem. I don't want to practice backing up that way, because if I misjudge the distance there, since it is a different way of looking at things, right? So we're trying to figure out how I can get the sense of the spacing, because I need something more than the lines to learn, but without having physical vehicles in the way. So we're thinking we're going to get some pylons. But parking, backing up parking, still working on some forward parking, and parallel parking, which I haven't tried at all, are really the big things that I still have to learn. I'm getting better with speed, I'm getting better with corners, I'm still struggling with my blinker because I forget half the time which way I've got to flick the thingy to make it work. But I'm actually really proud of myself that literally, since we had the time and it got my head off of the fact that my face was feeling really bad, like, I drove myself home. So I'm working on driving, I'm handling my body and when it goes wrong. Like, it was a really good thing we caught this one we did, because if it had turned into an infection, that could have been worse. Like, having to admit, no, I think something's wrong, and get it looked at, even if that scares me, that's important. And what I'm really proud of is in dealing with these things that make me really uncomfortable and upset, which, like I said, a couple of times this week I've had to, including the dentist, I have been able to be stoic in the face of it. Like, when I'm dealing with strangers or with the dentist in these moments, like, just handle it and not get upset right there. I've certainly gotten upset later and cried, but like, in those moments, it's like, this is not the time for tears. Tears can come later, which I'm thinking is really positive, because hopefully soon I'll have my defense coming up, and that's precisely going to need that ability to take criticism and questioning of what you've done and why you've done it at face to face, and then still be like, this is why I did it. This is why I did it. Cool. And again, I can get emotional after the fact, but dealing with these things right now, I'm feeling like an adult. I am becoming an adult. Swallowing pills sucks. I mentioned that gag reflex earlier. It makes the penicillin really uncomfortable. But so far, I'm 3 out of 28. And haven't vomited one of the pills up yet. I've vomited additional water up twice now. Once through my nose. But I've kept the pills down. So, hopefully I can keep that going. It's going to be a little awkward because the next one I have to take, because you have to take literally 4 pills a day. Not all at once. You've got to take one pill 4 times a day. So the next one I have is about lunchtime today, which means I'll be at work. Yeah. That's okay. That is okay. I am okay. It's another uncomfortable part of being an adult is literally I got it and I shook it and I heard the pills and I was like, okay, yeah, no, I've hit that point where medically I don't have another option. Because when I broke my wrist, they offered me something for the pain, and I told them I have trouble swallowing pills, and they're like, oh no, it's okay, we've got pain medication in a liquid form now. And I was like, but this is literally to prevent infections. It's penicillin. I just have to take it. And like, all of it. I can't decide, oh, I think I'm fine. Follow your prescriptions. Take the medication. So, that's what I'm doing. Hopefully, I can prevent problems like this in the future, but it's also been a good lesson that as soon as I have a pain that doesn't go away after a day, to get it looked at, because the truth of what's happening is going to be uncomfortable no matter what, but it's going to be easier to deal with the sooner you get it addressed. That's what being an adult is. I'm curious what the next couple of weeks are going to look like for work, because next weekend, of course, is Labor Day. Next weekend. This weekend coming up. It's Thursday. You'll see this Friday. So, Monday is Labor Day. This weekend's Labor Day weekend. It's sort of the last big weekend for tourism, but the company continues offering things until about mid-October for most things. I don't have school, so I'm still there, but out of 4 of us, I'm the only one available full-time, and one of 2 available at all. So there is going to be a switch. It's just a question of what we're switching to. And I have no idea. The boss has offered some hints, but until I see it happening, I'm not really sure how it's going to work out. So it's going to be interesting. Today's going to be interesting because this is first time at work after several uncomfortable moments this week. So I just gotta ride it out. Ride it out, remember to take my medication. Oh, I should put like an alarm in my phone or something. Okay, yep, let's do this. I think I'm gonna leave it there. I mean, there were probably other happenings, but this week has just been such a roller coaster of like, woo, and also, but also I'm glad I dealt with that. Yeah. I'm gonna finish up with something I'm reading. This is a really big thing on Rasputin. It's very interesting so far, but a little slow going. There you go. Talk to you later. No, seriously, I need to get this edited and then maybe do some typing before I head to work. So I really will say goodbye and talk to you later.